How y'all doing today, my friends? What you're seeing on screen is just moments before shit went down on the RV just the other night. Now, the biggest thing about this is that a lot of people are really in the middle on if this was real or if this was just something the RV people set up in an attempt to make like a script to kind of bait donations in. That's what these guys will do sometimes, you know? They're too afraid to go out on the street and like actually go find content, so they'll just sit in their RV all night and stir up drama or stir up fake shit to try to get people engaged. They do it all the time. And due to a lot of the things I'm about to show you in this video, a lot of people think this isn't legit. But also, let me tell you why some people do think it's legit. It's because if you know anything about these bastards on the RV, you know they're not the most well-liked people. So when they ventured into Salem, Oregon, local members of Antifa took notice. And obviously, you know, if you know what these people are about all the racist donations, about all the shit they kind of get up to, Antifa wasn't going to have it. So for the past few days, you know, people have been following around the RV. People have been stalking them on Twitter. There have been Twitter pages directly, like, just aiming in on finding where they're at all times and trying to go after them. I mean, they even had run-ins with people in the street just a few days ago telling them to get the fuck out of their town. A guy followed Gucci's like a few nights ago before that, took her camera, kind of threw it on the ground, shit like that. You know, people have been out for their heads. This is very true. But honestly, to me, with all this going on, I'm not just going to sit here and flat out say, oh no, they're faking it. But I will say that it seems like with some of the things they said in this video you're about to see here, they may be aware of that, aware that people are following them. And they're clearly aware of this because they're terrified of this. They're claiming to be in Canada on this. The name of the stream says we're in Canada, you know? They're trying to make it seem like they're not around Oregon anymore. But I feel like with all this tension going on and everyone knowing that there are people after them, the RV folk are a little more likely to drum up some drama of their own just to make it seem like people are after them, you know, at that current time. Because as I said, it is confirmed there were people really like aiming in and trying to go after these fuckers. But the thing that everybody is saying and the thing that everyone is skeptical on is the fact that, you know, you see JJ sleeping here, you see Gucci's up on the top, you probably can't see her there, but her and Tone are sleeping on the top, and Chicken and Mondo are nowhere to be found. Now, out of nowhere, as everyone is peacefully sleeping in the night, this happens.
What the hell?
So JJ wakes up completely unaware of things. You can hear kind of a little laugh from Gucci's, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it looks like she just wakes up, pokes her head out, and is smiling like a motherfucker. Now, that could just be me being wrong, but don't worry, that's not the only piece of evidence we're going to look at here. We're not going to go, oh, she's smiling, they did this themselves. But, as you can see, everyone else starts running off this bitch too, you know? Tone's like, what the fuck? JJ's like, what the fuck? Gucci's sleeping all comfortably in her bed still, you know? Keep that in mind for later. So it seems like Chicken and Mondo are outside at the time when this is going on. It's kind of weird that, you know, while everyone's sleeping and these two are outside, this just happens to go on. Once again, like I said, that just could be a coincidence. Maybe they could have witnessed this. But the first thing they seem to do is run inside, grab the camera, go outside, and show everyone what's going on. And what is indeed going on is that someone tried to throw 2 big fireworks at the RV, and it caught this bush on fire, and it will soon catch basically like a lot of these bushes on fire, and also some RVs behind this bush, because right behind this bush is like a trailer park for RVs. Now, you know, you might be thinking, this is clear, like even when I first saw it, it's clear. You know, people have been going after them for like a week now. It's obvious that this is just another group of people going after them again. Because even an hour before this, there was a car driving by, honking their horn, people screaming from outside the RV. People have been finding them, even though they're trying to keep their location really hidden. So when you see something like this, your immediate first thought is, I know mine was, someone tried to throw a Molotov at them. And Tone right here is going nuts, because he's just like, dude, like he's really thinks that. Tone's freaking out because there's apparently a woman and her kid in that RV right that you see right there. You know, that's not their RV, that's another RV. Another RV that's very close to being caught in flames by this. But as you see Tone running around flipping out, Chicken Andy's kind of just sitting here in all of this fire. You know, he's just taking it all in, recording it, but obviously obviously it's clear that he doesn't really know what to do. You know, Tone's trying to figure shit out, but Chicken's just kind of like frozen, like, uh-oh, like some real bad shit's going on here, and it is. And then Gucci's decides to scream this.
Oh. What up?
Now, obviously, there's no reason to be standing near a fire of that size. From that side, I can completely understand where she's coming from. You know, run, get the fuck out of here. But at the same time, this leads back to her not getting up, to her laughing when she first heard the booms, and it just makes you kind of think, like, well, why are you trying to run away from this so often? Like, don't you, if you're so afraid that these people are coming after you and all, wait for the fire department to get here, wait for the police to get here, and, you know, file a report. That's what these fuckers do in every situation. Every time they get pressed on the street, every time there's a whole thing, they're like, no, let's call the cops. We gotta call the cops. Talk to the cops. When Chicken got beat up by that like fellow streamer a couple weeks ago, all it was about was, oh, I'm pressing charges. Let's call the cops. You think if someone threw a Molotov or tried to blow up the RV, they wouldn't stay there and try to call the cops, you know? But I digress. There's a million and one reasons they couldn't have stayed there. I'm not gonna hold that to them either. Like I said, though, I just don't know why you'd be telling about, you know, let's just get the fuck out of here in this type of situation if you know you got nothing to hide. But like I said, that's just me looking at this from a more skeptical lens rather than a more believing one.
Chicken, why are we still here? Chicken! You fucking idiot!
Alright, let's go. I'm gonna get Chicken. I'll get Chicken. Everyone run. Everyone get off the fucking RV.
So, as you can see, Gucci's is again screaming, let's get the fuck out of here. Tone's running around to find Chicken, and you see some car just zooming away a second right afterwards, you know, and that's Mondo. That's Mondo just zooming out away from this whole situation. And again, it's like you got Gucci sitting there screaming, let's get the fuck out of here. You got Tone frantically running around, wondering what the hell's going on. And now you got Mondo just getting his car. It looks like he's got to make sure his car is just well away from this. But as we can come to see here, you know, they're not just completely trying to run away. Eventually, they do have such second thoughts, and they're like, oh shit, you know, there's this trailer right here about to burn down. Even if they are being attacked, I'm happy that they had the right instinct here to be like, no, we can't be running away from this. We have to, you know, maybe they're running away because they're afraid these people are going to come attack them more, granted. But they do go back, and they're like, no, we got to put this out. And even though they do a fucking shit job at it, you gotta give them points for that one. But it could be because they're like, we gotta put this out because this could be our asses here, you know. There's a million and one ways to look at it, but it's just you know, it's a fucked up situation all around. And so as you can see at this point, the fire has spiraled like almost out of control. You know, for a second there, it's like, oh shit, it's going to burn down this entire row of bushes. And as I said, it's catching on to RVs on the other side of these bushes. Now, Mondo's back over here with a jug of water trying to put this out, which, you know, let's see, you can't, you know, it's dedication. You can't, at least he's trying, but like, you know, I mean, at this point, just try to throw the jug in general. I know you're burning plastic at that point, but I mean, it's probably more useful than just trying to just nudge it over there a little bit, kind of get a couple splashes on the curb. But, you know, you can see here, they're panicking. But it could be for a multitude of different reasons. The two you can kind of like put your finger on and say it's probably that is, number one, they're just looking out for these people trying to save everybody, which is, you know, the noble thing to do. Number two, they're really fucking nervous right now and they want to just get this shit away. They think they can like stop this themselves. You know, like I said, but let's give them the benefit of the doubt, because in this situation, if you think your life's being in danger, maybe you're just thinking really irrationally. So as I said, we're not going to completely say, oh no, these guys did this themselves. But we still have a lot more to look at here. And, you know, as of right now, though, I'll say they're doing most things the right way, I guess, just trying to do their part and stop this, because you can see, look at the fire right there. Look at that fucking fire. This RV right here, thank God the people finally got out, but there's a propane tank on the back. You know, this could be really bad. And so Mondo now, they're all really trying to get this propane tank off the back, trying to help these people out. And, you know, once again, maybe you'd say irrational things in these situations, but, you know, I want you to listen to what Mondo says right here when Tone questions this, because as I said, it really seems like Tone's still kind of confused here, and Mondo has an oddly specific answer for his concern.
I don't think that was fireworks. No, it was. That's a Molotov. No, it was not a Molotov. That was fucking actual fireworks. It was so loud. It was like one of those like expensive ones.
How does this man know that it was a specifically expensive firework? As you see Tone get sprayed by the friggin' the foam that the fire department's using to put out this fire. But yeah, you know, any type of like a fucking firecracker could have started that shit. You know, it's a dry bush. It's a whole like line of bushes. But Mondo, you know, is the first to be like, no, definitely wasn't a Molotov. Totally was a firework. It was also an expensive one. And you know, hey, like I said, him and Chicken Andy were outside the RV, so maybe they saw shit go down. But as we'll come to find out later, and as things kind of like progressed here, they claim to not have seen the people or nothing. So, you know, that just take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, Mondo seems to know like exactly what kinds of fireworks were used in this attack.
So that's how we were done. And then there looks like about 3 or 4 RVs on the other side. One got hit too. Oh my god. I mean, that's fucking scary, dude. That's fucked up.
Tone of his voice doesn't sound suspicious at all. So we finally get back to the point of scripting and how these guys will drum up their own little storylines, their own drama to get people interested, to get people to donate and basically be like, wow, I'm so glad you guys are okay and all this stuff. And people like Chicken Andy, Gucci's, and Mondo are they've been doing this for years, you know? Because they don't, when you're just sitting around not doing anything, it's real easy just to fake a fight with someone and get people to donate because people just love to see a good shit show. And, you know, it's much easier to do that than to go out on the streets. I already brought that up at the beginning of the video. And one thing that I have to point out here is it's also not the first time this week these guys have been attacked. So with that in mind, knowing that they like to fake shit and knowing that this isn't the first time it's happened this week, it's really weird to hear Tone bring this up to Chicken Andy and for him to just brush it off, because it seems like even till this point right here, Tone was completely in the dark on some shit they were doing.
But we should have left last night when they fucking attacked the RV or whatever, were banging on it. Where the fuck
That was Mondo. That was Mondo. Trolling you?
Oh, the horn thing?
Yeah.
That was Mondo.
Yeah,
Someone
he
in the
was
chat called it too. They said, wow, that sounds an awful lot like Mondo's name.
Yeah.
So you hear that? Just the other night, Mondo was banging on the RV, honking his horn, going crazy outside the RV, making them think it was Antifa outside. Now, Chicken knew this. Tone clearly did not know this until now, and probably just so they could get his genuine reaction when it happened, and they probably would have never told him this had he never brought it up. But the thing is, you know, they're clearly now aware that with all this going on, they should stir up some shit, you know? They can just, as long as it's not on camera, we can say it's whoever did whatever. And it's clear that they've done it before. Now, that doesn't mean, hey, they did it before, now they'll do it again in a much more dangerous way. But at the same time, it is just lighting fireworks off out front. You know, I doubt they thought it was going to start a big thing like that. Now, that's if it was Mondo and Chicken and them. If it was the actual people, then yeah, they were purposely trying to start some shit. But as I already brought up, just like an hour before the fireworks were thrown, another car drove by, honking its horn and shit. Kind of a lot like that clip I just showed of Mondo when he was doing this. And here's an hour beforehand when the car drove by. Now, knowing that Mondo the night before was driving around honking and banging on the RV, now seeing, you know, an hour before this happened, another car honking and screaming, and then seeing how Mondo likes to drive while frantically honking his horn, it's not too hard to put 2 and 2 together and think, huh, maybe that's just Mondo out there. But at the same time, like I said, I have to keep bringing up, there are literal Twitter accounts that have, like, it's clear they have nothing to do with these people at all. They hate them, and they're following them around, like, tracking their position and all, so you can't for 100% say, you know, it is Mondo. But, you know, even though it all looks like it's lining up, but still, you know, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's not, because there still are some people on their head. So soon after, they find Mondo just sulking in his car, you know, pondering in deep thought. He's got that what the fuck did I do face on.
Dude, they literally burned somebody's fucking RV down, dude. How bad was it on the other side? Was all lit up, dude.
No such thing.
It's on you. What?
I will go.
Don't film my car, bro. Don't film my car. What the fuck? Okay. Chicken will be filming whatever.
don't don't film my car, bro. Like, this, he is so on edge. Now you could be thinking, of course, oh well, yeah, the people are after him. Of course, Mondo wouldn't want them to know what car he's in. But it's not like we haven't seen it a million times on these streams before. It just seems like he's finding any reason to be pissed the fuck off because he's sketching right now.
I need to see like the firework when that happened from the time I woke up, from the moment when I actually woke up, because I didn't wake up to any fireworks.
Rewind the 24/7 to hear the boom. Because it was loud. I mean, I jumped out of bed, bro.
Chicken and Mondo are incredibly quiet right now, and to mind you, they're talking to each other in like some parking lot blocks away from this, far away from the situation. They're not sticking around to talk to no fire people, no police, and as I said, which is their usual MO. And also I forgot to mention, I couldn't find the clip for it, but Jacob, the driver, when this all happened, Chicken told him to take the RV and get the fuck far away from here. Now obviously, like I said, that could be because people are attacking the RV, but now they're just a couple blocks away, and if they were so afraid of their surroundings and not showing where they are, they wouldn't be showing like the literal fucking gas station they're going into, the parking lot they're at, and all that. So there's a lot of ways to look at this. Maybe they're just not the brightest cats. That's the obvious answer here. But at the same time, it's just too many things are adding up. They're trying to get away from this thing so bad. Everyone's acting so fishy. Mondo knew exactly at first that it was fireworks. It was expensive fireworks. And Tone just keeps asking questions because he can tell the dude's like really like interested in what's happening here. Let's figure it out. But Mondo and Chicken want none of that. JJ's his usual quiet self, very confused here. And that's what makes me think, I still have a few more clips to show, but still, I'm not going to say it for certain, but I do have a theory, and it's a theory that I just have floating in my head right now that could 100% be false, But that theory is that Chicken, Mondo, and Gucci's knew what was going on. Hence why when Gucci's woke up laughing and then went right back to bed when everyone else was freaking out, and then spent the next 5 minutes after they realized there was a fire screaming for the to get out of there. Now granted, once again, Gucci's was the one who called the fire department, but I assume that's because anyone in their right mind in that situation would have called the fire department, whether it was your doing or not. You don't want to just, you don't want to let that shit burn. And so, of course, Chicken would know about it because he's always in on this shit. Of course, Mondo would know about it because he's the one with the supposed fireworks. And of course, Gucci's would know because of course she would, because Chicken Andy's fucking her and he always lets her in on everything, It's just... Of course, these are the three that would know about it. You keep guys like JJ, Tone, even Jacob in the dark to see their reactions when this shit happens. It's part of their little script. Now, does this all fit too perfectly? I mean, maybe. Like I said, this could just be one giant coincidence. But you have to sit down and remember that there are people going after them. And it's something that I keep saying, and I feel like a lot of you may be thinking, oh, you're just glossing over it. You just keep jumping back to, oh, they're responsible for this. They're responsible for this. You're not looking at the other people. And you're right. So I did try to take a look at the other people, and all their Twitters were locked and privated, which is extremely suspicious. Why are you guys all locked and privated now after this happens? That looks dumb suspicious. And obviously the people going after them don't really care too much about doing things within the law, because that one dude just went after Gucci's, kind of held her there, took her shit, so that these people don't give a fuck. So like I said, at the same time, it could be either or. This could be real, this could be fake. I just feel like with the Gucci's stuff, it was so clear she got harassed on the street. When all those protesters went up to them and started yelling at Chicken and Gucci's in the street, it wasn't like they faked that, but this has all the makings of a script written all over it. Now, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and tell you straight up that it was or it wasn't. It's for you to decide based off what I'm showing you here, and granted, I'm not doing the best job. I'm sitting here getting high, just kind of looking at this going what the fuck really happened here? And, it's not, like I said, it's not very cut and dry. You got to make your own decision here. I feel like I'm being a bit, I don't know if biased is the word, but I'm not really giving them a lot of the benefit of the doubt, just because it's clear they do this type of faking shit a lot to try to trick the people watching, to try to convince them that shit's going on that's really not, it's basically like watching a TV show, but they want to run their own scenes instead of it being, IRL out in the streets, just your daily life. These people want to try to make it a show. But I could also see this easily just being something they set up to try to get some easy donations, to get people really like fear and being like, oh shit, Antifa's here, guys, start donating and trying to wake them up and everything. You know, it would be a reason to try to, like this said, just debate some extra little money and like, oh shit, did you guys hear that outside? They're not waking up. Start donating to them so they hear the alarms and start waking up. It's just like I said, there's a lot to look at here, and one thing to mention is, once again, they shut off all their streams right after this, and none of them have been live since. Mondo actually went live just about an hour ago, and just was kind of like, you know, everyone's stupid for thinking that it's me, dog wouldn't have been fucking me, fuck all of yous, and then just ended the stream. So, we haven't really heard anything about this yet. It does look suspicious as well. You know, the Twitter people all went private, but now all the RV people just went quiet too. And the biggest thing about this to me is, as I keep bringing up how they'll love to do this shit for donations, you know, if this was a real event and say they did get attacked by these people, they would have the cameras on nonstop to, one, make sure that like, everything's documented, and number two, because they know that would be like dono bait heaven. All this crazy shit, a giant fire going on, all these people donating to them to tell them that they're fucking idiots, or maybe even tell them, hey, you know, good job getting out of there, guys, you guys did a great job. They know that this would work for great dono bait, but at the same time, I feel like they're too scared to sit here, that they need to just figure out their next plan before they stay live. But there are tons of reasons for that too, you know. They could be thinking, hey, let's just stay off stream until we're well away from here and just, you know, so we don't have to deal with this anymore. Granted, you just drive like 2 hours away, that's all it would have taken, and you could have been back up and updating everybody. We're now over like 24 hours into this, you still heard nothing from these guys. But at the same time, it's like, you know, the fact that they're not live makes me think, you know, oh, they just want people to forget about this. They want people to talk about it for a day or two, they'll stay offline, then when they come back online, they can just kind of act like nothing happened, swept it under the rug, and move on. These are the things I think when I see this stuff, you know, because I'm sitting here, you know, with the Chris Chan videos I make, with the Cyrax videos I make, I sit around and get high and I laugh about it. With this, I'm genuinely puzzled as to what happened here, because I've watched enough of these guys, you know, Chicken Andy, Mondo, even Gucci's, to know that they, like I said, they're not to be trusted. You got to take everything these fuckers do with a grain of salt. Chicken and Mondo in particular will say just about anything to kind of like trying to get donations in. We'll say bullshit. We'll try to fake stuff just to try to get people to think stuff to donate. And, you know, that says a lot more about the people who actually donate to this bullshit. Because, like, what are you doing? Like, why would you ever donate to these fuckers? But on the same hand, you know, so that's why they do this. That's why they're on the RV, to rack up donations. And you'd think with a situation like this where everyone's talking about it and everyone be asking them questions in the chat, which they could ignore, so it would force people who really want to know to put donations in, you'd think they'd be live right now to rake that shit in, and they're not. So on that front, I'm also confused. But like I said, none of these things 100% confirm or deny any of this. Even the people on Twitter who were scoping out their locations and then privated their Twitters right afterwards doesn't say anything concrete. It's just also really fucking suspicious, like really suspicious. That's hugely suspicious. When I first saw this going on, I was convinced it was them. But then when I sat down and actually watched this, like the full hour of all this shit, I was kind of like, it's give or take. It really is.
That shit like lit up so fast. That fucking bush, because
remember what we were talking about yesterday when you were fucking around with the lighter at, on the palm tree?
I wasn't fucking with it. I wasn't fucking with the lighter.
Someone was fucking around with the lighter at the palm tree.
No, I was like, don't
and
do
I was
that.
like, yeah, dude. I was like,
said,
dude,
don't.
There's so many forest fires in Oregon that is not funny.
Yeah, you do not. You don't.
I was
like, those are.
But anyways, the point is, I was telling them, dude, you know how many forest fires are here? It's so, dude, shit lights the fuck up out here, and it does not stop.
Mona didn't do anything wrong.
No one did anything wrong.
I know. I'm just saying.
We were talking about.
I know. We talked about how these are very
dude.
flammable. We said these are very flammable.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but this little clip right here is just drips of guilt. Like, Chicken is losing his fucking mind, especially from that little line there about, you know, yesterday someone was playing with a lighter, and he immediately, oh, wasn't me, I wasn't playing with the lighter. And Tone, remembering something from yesterday, you know, now Tone is an addict. Tone does a lot of shit. Tone's like probably the wildest motherfucker on here, but I think he'd remember a day ago pretty well, and he's like, oh, I guess it was someone else, that's right. Like, no, it definitely definitely was Chicken probably fucking with that lighter, but now that fire's a hot button issue here, you can't bring it up and act like Chicken was doing anything ever with fire. It's just the hint I get from it. And then as they talk about it more and Tone talks about how messed up this is, Chicken just blurts out, oh, Mondo didn't do anything. Mondo didn't do anything wrong. Mondo didn't do anything wrong. No one did anything wrong. Like, the dude he doesn't know what to say, because in this situation you want to watch your words real fucking carefully, because just like this, anything you do that looks suspicious, people can point out and be like, yeah, nah, like you obviously got some other shit on your mind. The last things I want to look at are directly related to old Mondo over here, because even though Chicken's really all over the walls with this, it's quite clear that if anyone did this, if anyone was the mastermind behind this or lit those fireworks, it was old Mondo. As you see on screen here, as everyone's trying to like cheer up, kind of laugh at shit, Mondo looks like he saw a fucking ghost. And, like I said, you would be, maybe you're rattled up by this. Maybe you're really shaken by this. Chicken looks like he's got a million and one things on his mind, just steaming on that port. And, like I said, at the end of the day, with all the shit I showed you, there's nothing here concrete to go, wow, they fucking did it. They fucking did it. But it's just for you to sit here and go, these dudes did look pretty goddamn suspicious. The last thing I want to look at is this Instagram post Mondo put up just a few hours after this. Last night, Antifa threw 2 mortar fireworks at my friend's RV and I while we were all sleeping. What started as a very, very small brush fire instantly ignited, getting hotter and larger by the millisecond. I was lucky enough to get the homeless mother and her little one out of their 5th wheel before the fire got anywhere near them. Unfortunately, the side of her 5th wheel suffered burns, while an RV park on the other side of the fence line ignited 2 family trailers, causing them to lose a large chunk of their homes. I'm beyond traumatized and can't get these senses out of my head. The bangs, the size of the flames. I need a blunt to calm down, no joke. So, okay. Mondo's saying that he's traumatized and can't get all this stuff out of his head. That could be the reason why he was so traumatized at the very end of the very end of the clips I showed you there, where he's sitting in his car and then standing there so out of it. And I think that's why he brought up the traumatized part, because everyone was pointing out just how guilty he looked at the end there. So obviously he's got to act like, well, there's a reason he would be traumatized. And if he is, that's no joke. Someone did try to throw stuff at them to hurt them. The final thing we'll talk about here, though, is how he really caps this off by saying that he was lucky enough to get the homeless mother and her little one out of their 5th wheel before the fire got anywhere near them. Well, if we go back and look at Chicken's stream, just minutes after the bangs go off and the fire starts, and just a couple moments before Mondo comes zooming down the road, you can see this mother and her child walking out of their RV on their own volition, without Mondo anywhere around, with Tone recording them. And yeah, it just seems like it's probably something Mondo said to make himself look better in the moment, because like I said, we saw earlier, Mondo was going to a lot of lengths to try to get that propane tank off, to try to, save these people, or just even to make sure no more damage was done. You could always look at that and go, man, he really was trying to help. Or you can look at that and go, man, he was, same thing with him trying to put the fire out with 2 jugs of water. He was really trying to get this shit cleaned up so no cops had to come or nothing. Because as I said, they didn't stick around at all after the fucking cops and everyone showed up. Mondo wasn't there. As soon as you heard those fucking fire sirens, he was gone. And it's just, like I said, these are the type of fuckers that are the absolute type to stick around, talk to the police, and bitch about how they want to press charges, which in this situation, why wouldn't you if someone tried to burn your fucking house down? But like I said, too many things point to, this is a whole fucking setup here, this is just a script, but there's also too many glaring things that point to this being, legit. So it's very hard. And I know I didn't look at, like I brought up earlier, I didn't look into the things that would make you go, wow, that's totally real, just because, I can't get on these people's Twitter's account. They all fucking privated this shit. So, we're just gonna have to see what happens here. If the days go on, I'll say this, if the days go on and, footage comes out, footage from behind this fucking grocery store wherever they were at, which I don't even know if they can get their hands on, but they're claiming, Mondo was saying, on some stream that, the truth will be told when that footage gets dropped. If that footage gets dropped and we see a car drive by and just throw fireworks and dip out, then I'll firmly say, you know what? Fuck me. That's insane. These guys really were innocent. But as of right now, there's just too much shit to point to this being quite a bit fishy. And like I said, when I find out more, I'll let you all know, most likely on a smoke show or something. But that's the deal, what's going on here. It's a shame how far we've come since the Ice Poseidon days, when, like, you know, the RV trips were pretty fun. Now it's always some bullshit like this. It's some scripting bullshit, or it's a guy like Joker doing drugs in the bathroom on the last time they were doing the RV, like a year ago. That was a fun time, I guess, you know. Stuff like this kind of makes me pine for those days. And you know, just what a shit show. What an absolute shit show. You know, drop your comments down below, let me know what you guys think. I assume I'll have a lot of people saying, like, nah, like, come on, with those people going after them, it has to be real. But I assume there's going to be a lot of y'all saying, yeah, no, there's too much guilt here for them to not have at least something to do with this. So, you know, we'll see. We will see. So that's the end of another one today, guys, and before I go, I want to give a shout out to Vanessa, Krabby, Liz Vendor, Club Doom, Cody Hale, Scaly Schisms, Echo Spectre, Sky, The Night Owl, Kaitan, Fiendland's Party Place, Churlish, Music Biz Marty's Bong, Pythea, Moochie, Your Mom, Grant M, Mick Surly, Adrian Lara, Sky Fitzpatrick, Chris Chan's Fanta Bottle, Alright Stingy, The Ghostbusters fan, Isaiah, Brian 1, Akiba's Beat fan, Blake Austin, G-Man, Gypsy, Trademark, and good old Vaga. You guys are all fucking goats. Every one of y'all who made it this far is a fucking goat, and I hope you enjoyed the madness that is these RV streams. You know, I haven't tuned into them much in the past few months, but my god, I had to tune back in for this one. You know, I still cover it somewhat when I do the smoke show, but nothing has really, like, piqued my interest like this has. Maybe since the whole Andy Dick situation. So, you know, as I said, maybe I'll cover this more depending on what happens. But usually you get some crazy shit like this to happen, and then there's just nothing for a couple months. So like I said, we will see. That's all I can say when it comes to this one. So with that being said, I'm gonna go chill out, you know, have a good rest of my week, which I hope y'all have a great rest of yours, and I'll see y'all tomorrow in the next one. And until then, guys, take care and have a safe day.